diploma and shit like that. But construction, they playing. You work $8 an hour. You make see like 500, 500 a week, working fucking 12, 15 hours a day. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck that.
I'm looking for fucking 800 to 1,000. You know, yeah.
No wonder
shit.
fucking Texas got so many big cities to it.
Right, niggas good. Get it in. That nigga telling you shit.
You know what I'm saying? They got Dallas, Austin, Houston, all of these big ass fucking cities, and these motherfuckers that rival New York big.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They rival New York and Chicago.
Right. That's the big and all that shit. The biggest.
Damn.
God. Like Mexicans was working.
Right, just doing stuff. Good. Damn.
Low
that's
too.
Damn like Louisiana or something. Man.
If you could push that mic down a little bit so it's like not up in it, just push it down.
Like that?
Like that. Yeah, that's good.
Man, that's rough right there. And I did see, you know what I'm saying, all of these professional women, on Facebook and everything, texting. Oh, good. Seeing them professional women, on Facebook, Texas, and all of that. Damn. That's rough, man.
I know women are easier to manipulate in everything.
Right. And then at the same time, too, if they give her advantage over you, she is going to turn against you.
Right.
And they know that, too. She's going to be against you. And then
they can use her to check you and shit.
Right.
They don't want to do it.
Right. And then what does that do with that pressure right there? That turns brothers even against each other. That's how simps are made. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Real talk. And simps ain't got a damn thing to do with brotherhood. They hate brotherhood. The sad thing, the simps out here, they can't stand brotherhood because they think just like the people that, that white man and that black woman.
Right.
It's like he's their little child, you know what I'm saying? Like he's their little love child or something.
Right.
Then, if I could, a lot of times, if there's a man on the job, it'd be hard for him to move up at certain times because if you in charge of, you might have to check some other workers or, say something to them about certain stuff. They know if you say it to a man, black man saying it to a black woman, let's say the black woman go off, and then let's say he go off. You know what I'm saying? Then they're gonna be looking at him like, man, what you doing? You can't be yelling. You can't be loud. You can't do that with the person. But if it's a black woman, they'll let them both get loud. Both be heated and this and that.
Right.
But it's fine. But if a black man get all heated, then it's like, oh, we need, I'm calling the cops. Stuff like that.
Right.
So it'll make it harder on the job for brothers.
Right. And then that right there starts to break the spirit of brothers too.
Right.
And then they go on these jobs, these slaveries and everything, and sometimes they already know the layout, and they just conform to it. Just like when I worked on U of L campus, there was a brother there, and the brother was because I used to hang in the strip clubs and everything. He would ask me, what about them strip? He be out there smoking blacks and everything, just like, he regular brother and everything. And he's like, how about them strip clubs, such, But when the devils would come around,
right,
he acted real fruity. And I'm sitting there feeling some kind of way because I just got through talking to this dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I just got through talking to him. They come around all of a sudden, and then he started talking. I'm like, what the hell?
Right.
He started talking all fruity. He was a big brother too.
The brother's here in the back.
Okay. Yeah, he was a big brother too. You know what I'm saying? He just started talking all fruity and stuff like that. I'm like, man, and that's when it dawned on me, man. We being crushed in this society.
Right.
We being damn crushed. And as a matter of fact, I'll probably want to bring that scripture in Deuteronomy when it says he's to be spoiled and crushed. I think that's what it say.
God, evermore.
Right. Man, be crushed is just that's rough stuff right there.
Well, what's your name? 1,000. I gotta do a pat down time.
Shalom, no Christ. How's it going, Warriors?
Hey, Shalom,
right.
my man.
Yeah.
Christ.
Right, that's
I got
good.
some extra chicken in here too.
Oh, that's right.
I gotta do the pat down.
I got the scripture too.
Good.
Scripture, you want it?
Good.
Deuteronomy 28:29. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness. And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore. And no man shall save thee.
Hey, that's what it says. We'll be oppressed. And what does that do when people are oppressed and crushed? That does something against brotherhood.
Right.
You know, like say for instance, when you look at the mob movies and stuff like that, right?
Right.
When you had the Italians and the Irish and the Polish and all of them first came to this country, they were being oppressed. And what did it cause? It caused for them to do what? It caused them to kill each other.
Right.
You know, the crabs in the barrel situation, right?
Right.
We are like the only people that's like stuck inside that situation. The south side of Chicago, like say for instance, the south side of Chicago, how bad and rough it is there. Well, at one time, the south side of Chicago was inhabited by Italians.
Right.
I think that's where Al Capone and them was from.
Right.
You know, where they had moved to. He was originally from New York, but he moved to there. And what was happening, the Italians were murdering the hell out of each other.
Right.
But here's the thing, though. Nobody knows why we're doing it. You know what I'm saying? They act like, you know, when we do it, they act like they don't know what's going on.
Right.
But then when they do the story, you know, the stories of them mobster dudes, they can break down explanations of why they're doing what they're doing. And all of that, right? They can break down why they're doing what they're doing, why they're, you know, he rough, he did this, that, and the other, you know. But when it comes to us, nobody really wants to break down an explanation. And you know what? Black people really don't want to break down one either. The explanation behind why we're going through what we're going through, or whatever, even if they don't know the truth, right? They could be like, well, you know, they had it so hard in the South Side and this and that. What we do, we start acting like them. And so how do we start to view each other? We start to view each other through the same lens as white people view us through. That's what starts to happen. And then we start to become sub-white. Not really white, right?
Right.
But sub-white. That's what eventually what starts to happen. Like, you know, nobody can understand why black people do what we do. Nobody can understand it.
Right.
You know. And then you got certain people that call themselves black leaders, you know, or in some type of position like that, and they don't know either. Well, you know what? If they don't know what's going on with black people, they need to step the hell down.
That's right.
They need to step down from their position and listen to the people that actually do know what's going on.
Right.
Right? But they're so greedy and they're so power crazed and all of that they just can't, you know, they can't do that.
Right. If I could, like one thing they don't address, but they address in a way to make us look bad. They say angry black man or the angry black woman. When the scriptures say oppression maketh the wise man mad.
Right. That's what oppression does.
Like I was watching a show where it was a sister, a so-called sister, but it was Tiffany Haddish. She from India. She dating a white dude, right? And you know, it's a black dude who's the father of the kids, and it's like some little thing. It's called The Last OG. And so they go to a couple scenes of her like going off. Like in the library, she went off on somebody like, "Oh, you talking to that?" And then she went off in a restaurant, and then she went off somewhere else. And the white dude was like, "Yeah, you be going off. People scared of you and this and that." But then she said her side of the story, and they was all being racist towards her. The people in the library was laughing. She told like little white girls to be quiet because she's trying to read. And then the librarian come on her like, "Who are you talking to like that?" You know what I mean? And then the restaurant, they was treating her, you know what I mean, letting other people go in front of her, you know, doing slick racist stuff, dude. But then they, you know, we go off or we respond in a way or it makes us angry. Then they try to say, well, y'all just angry people, y'all angry black
right,
man.
exactly.
And, you know, this and that.
Yeah, that's a messed up situation right there. 'Cause that reminds me of a situation that I was in with one of the ribs, ex-ribs rather. She sprayed me, like we had this like spray bottle that we sprayed the cat with when the cat get up on the, you know, 'cause she didn't want the cat up on the furniture and all that, right? She gonna have the nerve to spray me in my face with that. And then when I got angry about it, she tried to go live. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Whose mind is that right there?
right.
That's Esau's mind. That's how he do. You know, it's like, you know, just like the boss was saying, that's exactly what they do. You know, and that type of stuff, that type of oppression, really, it really bears a solid burden on brotherhood. You
Right.
gotta be, you gotta be, you gotta really love your brothers genuinely in order to even fight through that thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's so easy for you to hate them. It's so easy.
Right.
You know. All right. Any more on that scripture?
Let's see the next verse. Deuteronomy 28:30. That is talking about some. Is going to another topic.
Oh, okay. Let's go to First Corinthians 6 and 7. There's certain little things that, you know, a lot of people don't see that really start to mess up brotherhood a bit, that people don't see. That's why it's good for, you know, officers. We can see it and correct it real quick inside our own nation. Nobody else is doing that except for the ISUPK.
Right.
Everybody else just let the stuff just fester. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it becomes something, you know, something real crazy. Go ahead.
Scripture.
Okay.
1 Corinthians 6 and 7. Now, therefore, there is utterly a fault among you, because ye go to law one with another.
Now, look at this. Now, what does that do for brotherhood right there?
Right.
What does that do? Dragging each other into court and all that. Now, you know, you get this and you know. Go ahead.
Or sisters, really, it would be a lot of times sisters dragging brothers into court for
Right.
child support or for, you know,
That's
something,
right.
you know, they didn't like he sleeping with another woman or something, so restraining orders or something.
Right, yeah. And then like you said, you know, him, you know, having another woman or whatever, that's a huge one. Reason why she would keep dragging him into court. That's probably, that might be the top one, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Go ahead.
Total con. Why do ye not rather take wrong? Why do ye not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded?
Why not suffer yourself to be defrauded? That would, you know, that would help the nation right there. Why not suffer yourself to be defrauded? You know, what suffer means to allow. You know, that's, you know, old English, means to allow yourself to be defrauded. Why not? I mean, because you got to think about, a wise man would think, well, you know, if I, you know, take this L right here, this will help the brotherhood, such and such, not saying that you just let everybody take advantage of you, but, you know, certain situations, you know, just let that thing go instead of just getting mad and furious with the dude and all of that, you know.
Like I could, for an example, I remember one of the brothers out here, he had got a car and he had one of his homies from the world to fix on it.
Right.
He paid him, but his homie from the world couldn't fix it and left his tools. And then, you know, the brother was like, man, I want to go, you know, hunt him down and, you know, chase him down and get the money, or I'm mad, you know. He was all like that, but he got the counsel from the school. The school was like, you're going to have to take that L. You know what I mean?
Right,
Just know that you can't pay him to fix your car anymore, especially not paying him in advance before you fix it. You know what I mean? So you're just going to have to take, it's better to take that L, because what's the alternative? Beat him up, find him, shoot him, go to jail for the rest of your life, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Go
Not
to
a couple
prison.
$100.
Yeah, you don't know what the judge is going to hit you with. You know what I'm saying? He can hit you with, 5 years, or he can hit you with 55. You know what I'm saying? You know, you falling right in the mercy. You know, you do that, you falling right in the mercy of that judge, and whatever he say is what it's gonna be. He decide, you know, you do whatever to do, and he decide to give you 50 years without the possibility of parole.
Right.
That's rough right there, you know. So I mean, you know, why not just, you know, just let the thing go? You just don't deal with the brother like that no more, and that, you know, in that fashion, whatever. You just know what kind of brother he is. Bing, just let it go. You know, still love the brother and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, that's how, you know, that's how nations and stuff are built. Now, when it comes to a heathen or whatever, that's a different story right there.
Right.
You know, every race loves its own. And you know what? Every race is defrauded by its own. That's the way things work. You know, what was it? The Bernie Madoff. Remember Bernie Madoff?
Right.
He embezzled what? Uh, that's what I'm saying. That's a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? And what did they do with him? It was pretty much kind of like a slap on the wrist type of deal because they understand, you know, that they're a race, and then especially when you're dealing with the whole classism thing, he's rich just like them, and you know all of that. You know, he's in that you know realm. But you know, he got away with stealing millions of dollars of in embezzlement. And what do? They send them to a country club prison.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because they understand, because when it all boils down, they like, we still gotta be over these Negroes. Still. We still got to. And they hate each other. That's why we need to separate from them so much. Because when we're separate from them, because they don't genuinely love each other like that, to be honest with you. They don't genuinely love each other. They'll murder the hell out of each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just like when we was separate, we had to be separate. They were smoking each other. The Italians were killing the Irish. The Irish were killing the Italians. The Polish was killing both of them, you know, and so on and so forth. Right?
Right.
That's why separation is so important. Separation is protection for ours. But we're taught to love everybody. And when we do that, we only become food for everybody. As a matter of fact, if we were, if we weren't like integrated, right, and we were still separate, guess what? They would still be smoking each other. They would still be doing it. They would still be murdering the hell out of each other if we were separate, still separate.
Right.
Integration allowed them to go up to where they look like now that they never were like that. You got to watch the old clips just to find out how they work.
I'm about to like we got the movies like the Vikings and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
They was killing each other.
Mm.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? They was going
Yes.
to war with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they certainly were. So, you know, so anybody to tell you not to, you know, I mean, anybody to tell you not to separate from your enemies is telling you just to be destroyed so that they can just only get up over you.
That's right.
And they can stay over you, and they can reign over you, and then they'll look like they never were the South Side of Chicago murdering, what was it, Murder Incorporated, and all of that. They'll look like they are clean, right? That's how they will look. I mean, think about it. I mean, you look at the same, like Italians and stuff like that. I mean, the mobs and stuff were killing each other clear up until the early 90s. But how do they look now? How do the same Italians look now? Their children and all of that. You know what? They get into colleges and all of that, and they blended in, became normal white people, and looking like they ain't never did a thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Looking like they never done nothing. Go ahead.
All the races besides, you know.
Yes.
You know, black, Hispanic, and Indian.
Right. America was founded on crime.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It was. This place was a place of gangsters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing that people did when they come to this country. You know, they form gangs. The first thing, like 5 Points, Westies, You know what I'm saying? All of that. That's the first thing they did was form the gangs. America was built on that.
Right.
America
Right.
was built on gangs.
Right.
So we got to think why they sitting there, talking about us in our state right now, that's doing the same thing that they were doing back then. You know what I'm saying? But we're demonized and all of that. Somewhere should come with the understanding of why this thing is going on, right? We're the only people that's locked, that they try to lock into that system because everybody else, gets to move up, except for us. We get basketball stars, rappers, you know what I'm saying, to make it look like we're getting up. And a few, sprinkled out here and there, but then the majority of us is just destroyed.
All right.
And what do we start to do? We start to bite against each other, just like they were doing. But we get stuck into a situation like that. Nobody else does. Blacks and Hispanics get stuck into a situation like that as a whole. And that affects the brothers because how do you view the man, you know what I'm saying? How do you view the man that's like unto you? You hate him.
Right.
Go ahead.
You know how they put on every rap song, man. I don't trust these niggas. I
Mm-hmm.
don't fuck them niggas and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's always to your brother. It's
Right.
always. It's always who they talking to. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I don't
Exactly.
trust niggas. You know they put in every song. You know what I'm saying?
And here's the funny thing about it, because the niggas that say that ain't trustworthy themselves. That's the funny thing about it, you know what I'm saying? I don't trust none of these niggas. He ain't trustworthy as damn self. He just as treacherous, or sometimes even more treacherous than they are. You know what I'm saying? And that stuff right there just destroys the whole, brotherhood right there. Just like the scripture would say, oppression makes a wise man mad. It makes you crazy. It makes you crazy against your brother. You know what I'm saying? You're crazy against him. You're crazy against everything. Except for, when it comes to heathens. We know how to calm down then.
Right.
A lot of instances, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Right, exactly. Right. I don't trust no niggas and all of that, but at the same time, they'll put their trust. Go ahead.
And if I may, you said something real heavy, and the things that we successful in this country is things that very few of us can excel in.
Right.
So when you say that to make us be at each other's throat, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's going to be very few football players and basketball players and rappers.
Right.
Very few going to make that.
Right.
So, when they do make that so-called pinnacle, like you said, that affects the brotherhood. That's heavy, sir.
Right. And you know what? And them dudes that actually get the contracts and all of that, what do? They put the idea in their mind to turn against the poor blacks. Remember that? What was that thing that LeBron James had said? He had mentioned something about the murder of go ahead.
He said we're being hunted every day.
Right. Yeah, LeBron James said we are being hunted every day. Now, sometimes when they in that world, things will just pop out. You know what I'm saying? It'll just come out of them. Even though they in that world. Go ahead.
I think he know that. I think that quarantine got to him. You know what I'm saying? He know that. Everybody know that the Lord doing this stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
LeBron James is quarantined in the damn mansion, though.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Quarantined in a mansion and land and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Right. Here's the thing, because regardless of how brainwashed some people get, sometimes they have moments, to where they will say something to really piss white society off.
Right.
They'll have something in their heart for their people sometimes. And a lot of times that be their demise, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But I never really saw LeBron James as like no super coon or nothing like that, because he don't, even when they had the issue with his father, when they asked him about his father, because they, how the white man is, how he tried to do, they asked him about his father, and his mother's relationship or something like that. They had split up. And what he
Right.
said, because they tried to get him to dog his father out.
That's right.
And the only thing he handled it wisely, he's like, I don't know what happened between my mother and father.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what he said. He said, I don't know what happened between my mother and father. So it's like, oh shit, they can't use that. They try to they test you to see how much of a coon what coon level you want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what they do. And then the ones that have a high coon level, and they'll be like, okay, we're gonna make him a supervisor. And we're gonna use him to get rid of the blacks here. When it's a layoff, we'll make sure that he lays off 3 blacks per 1 white. That's how they do things. And that's why a lot of brothers step down from, the brothers and sisters step down from their supervisor positions. Because they try to turn them against, you know what I'm saying? They work hard at this to try to turn us against each other.
That's
Right.
They work hard at that. Well, we got to understand their devices and be like, I'm not going to turn against my brother. That's a sacrifice. Because what do your flesh want to do? To hell with that nigga, it wants to do that. But then you be like, nah, I ain't gonna go that route. I'm gonna still be a brother to this dude or whatever the case is,
Right.
And that's how nations and stuff are built. That's why they work so hard to do that with us. Because they understand something about us. But goddamn, think about like the Black Wall Street and stuff like that. In 40 years, we were able to come up with a thriving empire. They wasn't even in the truth at that time.
Right.
Think about how threatening that is to everyone. 40 years, and we had 4 prestigious colleges? Good night. You know what I'm saying? Because they, how they try to act like we so dumb and all of that stuff, like we can't do anything and all of that. Well, we broke world records with that. And that put everyone in fear. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We done did some things to make everybody afraid. They're not afraid, for no reason. They afraid because they're like, damn, these people got the ability to totally destroy our empire and be the top dogs themselves.
Right.
That's why they don't want us having nothing. You know what I'm saying? They don't want us having anything. During the time of Black Wall Street and all of that, we had cities we was forced to be segregated. But damn, look how fast we was able to blow up like that.
Right.
We had banks and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Now we see why they put the crushing pressure on us so much. So the way to get out of that crushing pressure is that brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? That solid brotherhood like that. That's how we got to get out of it. When our brotherhood got to be better than what the heathens' brotherhood is with each other.
That's right.
It's got to be way better. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Any more on that scripture?
It's like verse 8. No, 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 8. Nay, ye do wrong and defraud, and that your brethren. Verse 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God?
It was just talking about the brother that, just didn't take the hit from his brother. Right? And according to that, and I call him unrighteous. That's what it's saying. Because what was he trying to do? Like I was saying, to drag him, before the unjust for judgment. Even if a brother get defrauded, you got to think. Damn, I ain't gonna sit there and drag this brother to court for all of that. Yeah, drag Esau to court.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Drag him to court. And that type of stuff. Go ahead.
I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna give an example one time.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, because remember at the barracks, the neighbors took up all the parking spaces,
Right,
and they weren't trying to hear it. So I
right,
called the city on them, told them, look, I already called the city on them cars. If you don't move them cars soon, they're gonna make them inoperable, and they're gonna tow them. The devil came and moved that mud. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So
right.
you gotta take it there with them. You know
Right, exactly. Yes, and that's how people get. That's how we get respect, and when we get respect from that, helps our brothers out.
Right.
You know, because now they're forced to respect your people.
Right.
You know, when you do that to them, they like, well, you know, these men, they certain kind of way. You know, they all about their own and all of that, and it causes them to respect you.
Come to us.
Yeah, that causes them to respect you. You know, and instead of seeking love from other nations, we should be demanding their respect, and not by marching and protesting and all of that either. Because that stuff ain't helping brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them marches and stuff is held by the same damn enemy you're trying to fight against. You know, because when they bring them, when they have this and all of that, they'll have certain hand-picked people, and then they'll mingle heathens in with it too.
That's right.
You know, so they're in control of the whole movement, the whole little march or whatever. They're in control of it. So they're not going to work. They're not going to fight against themselves. You know, the next thing you know, after a week or so, you don't forgot about the deal. You know what I'm saying, or whatever happened, and you go back to sleep again. That's how it happens. And then how does that help brotherhood? It don't help brotherhood at all, because you're going to go back to hating each other. Go back.
I was gonna say, because what's heavy, because I was thinking about it earlier. What's heavy about that is, when you think about, we said white man's the devil, then people be like, okay, if we go against the white man, they just kill us all. You know what I'm saying? Be like, okay, so why doesn't the white man just kill us all? The thing about that is, if he try to just kill us all, who gonna work the fields? Who gonna work these jobs? Who gonna drive the buses? Who gonna clean the streets and sweep the offices and cut their grass and do all these jobs that they don't want to do for no $7.25 no hour, none of that.
Right.
So that's not really a good idea to kill us all or to just have an outright war with us because we're in their cities. So that's gonna throw their whole kingdom off.
Right.
There's a civil war in their kingdom. The blacks and whites, they might be killing a lot of us, but there's so many of us, Hispanics too. We be running around, in the cities, the whole city will be stopped, won't be making no money. Then these other kingdoms going to be like, well, America's all off. It's time to get our time in. They're going to start doing what they want to do. While we fighting the white man here, we might be taking a lot of losses in bodies, but they ain't going to be able to just kill us all off because you got niggas all over in the forest, in the woods. Niggas know how to move in the cities, you know what I mean? And all these devils don't know how to move. All of them ain't no SEAL team motherfuckers. So they're gonna be getting killed too. All their whole system's gonna be thrown off. So they can't just kill us all. So the point ain't to just try to fight them all. They want us working and not going against they work system and they religion and how they move. They don't want us separating like that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. They ain't trying to none of that. That's why even during this quarantine, who the hell is working these little menial jobs doing it?
Right.
It's us. So that kind of show you this kingdom is ran on us. It's fueled by us.
Right.
Because if they was to kill us all off, whites are not gonna want to do those jobs.
Right.
You think they're gonna want to pick tomatoes like the Mexicans do?
Roofing?
Hell no. They're not gonna do none of that. You know what I'm saying? If they do now, if the ones that do, imagine how much money they're gonna want for that.
Right.
So they'll take a financial hit also. Because then you'll have the labor the unions and all of that, which was made to make sure that white people were not mistreated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what unions was actually made for. It was a hustle, of course, too, but it was to make sure that whites were not treated like us.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Nowhere's near it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So think about that. This kingdom would just collapse So knowing this, and that's why we gotta hate this kingdom.
Right.
You know, that's why we gotta hate this kingdom, because if we're not, if we're not separate in this kingdom right here, this kingdom would just totally destroy us.
Right.
And we have to know that. We have to understand that. And we gotta, only love our own, just like every damn body else do. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do that.
All right.
Okay, let's go to Deuteronomy 19.
Lock it, sir. 19-1.
Let's go to 19 and we'll go to 19 and 2.
Con officer there.
Con, I got it.
So come.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 19, verse 2. Thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee in the midst of thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it.
Right. Good.
Verse 3. Thou shalt prepare thee a way and divide the coast of thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee to inherit, into 3 parts, that every slayer may flee thither.
Yeah.
Right.
The slayer. Now think about it for a second. The scriptures also use an example of like if 2 men are in the chopping wood, and the axe head goes off and hits dude in the head and kills him. That was an accidental death. It's not like he meant to murder that man.
Right.
So there was a city for that man to flee. If he didn't flee there, then the pursuer of blood would come and kill him. But he would have that city right there. It was an accident that happened. It wasn't nothing that he did on purpose. It was just dude's time or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And what does that do? That saved that man's life. From the accidental death. That he had did, the accidental killing rather. That's a good judgment and brotherhood and stuff like that. He didn't have no malicious intent towards the dude. They were just working, and it was just what they call a freak accident.
Right.
That's all it was. Dude had no maliciousness, none of that. He wasn't trying to kill the dude, any of that. It just happened that way. All right, go ahead.
Verse 4. And this is the case of the slayer, which shall flee thither, that he may live, whoso killeth his neighbor ignorantly, whom he hated not in time past.
Right.
Right. They never had no problem with one another. Right?
That's right.
Now just think about it now. If you have, like, say for instance, these laws make us perfect in brotherhood. Because if you have another nation, even if the killing is accidental, that dude can be killed himself. You know what I'm saying? Especially, based on like class and like the whole classism and thing like that or whatever. If he a poor man, he's dead. You know what I'm saying? He a poor man, he's done. And it's also a scripture too when it talks about if the iron pot and the clay pot crash against each other, right?
Right.
That the clay pot is going to be the one to break. That poor man, this with that rich man, under the heathen laws, he gonna be the one to break.
That's right.
But this right here, regardless of who's rich and who's poor or whatever the case is, the man did this ignorantly. That man's life can be, saved here. This is brotherhood right here, the real pure thing.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It's so messed up. Our people are so messed up right now that we think that the heathens are morally correct. You know what I'm saying? We've been so destroyed that we think that the heathens are way righteous. And that's how we be thinking. But until you go into these scriptures and you see the righteousness in the laws right here, then you get to really see the difference. They don't have laws as wise, nowhere near as wise as these. Go ahead.
Verse 5. As when a man goeth into the wood with his neighbor to hew wood.
Right, to cut wood, chop wood and everything like, people do.
And his hand fetcheth a stroke with the axe to cut down the tree. And the head slippeth from the helve and lighteth upon his neighbor.
Yes, and if it was to slip, and come right off the axe handle.
Right.
And then hit his neighbor in the head, killing him. Go ahead.
That he die, he shall flee unto one of those cities and live.
Right. That's he has to go to, what they call it, the cities of refuge.
Right.
He can go there, and chill out. If he don't go there, then he's gonna die. The avenger of blood is gonna come and take him out. Why will the avenger of blood come and take him out? Even if he was innocent in the accidental death. The avenger of blood would take him out because he didn't obey what the law said.
That's right.
That's why.
The law said go to the cities.
Right. He don't go to the city. He just gonna have to take what comes. You know what I'm saying? What the Lord made a way for him. All right.
That was just an accident.
Right. Yeah, it was an accident.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Down the tree, it slipped off.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay. Let's go into verse 6.
Verse 6. Lest the avenger of the blood pursue the slayer while his heart is hot.
Why is his heart hot? He's mad. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's right.
He's angry. He's ready to come. He's like, I got to take this dude the hell out. But if he flees into that city, the law says that he can't go into that city and kill him.
And overtake him, because the way is long, and slay him, whereas he was not worthy of death, inasmuch he hated him, not in past time.
Right. He had no problem with this guy.
Right.
Verse 7. Wherefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee. Verse 8. And if the Lord thy God enlarge thy coast, as he hath sworn unto thy fathers, and give thee all the land which he promised to give unto thy fathers.
Go ahead.
Verse 9. If thou shalt keep all these commandments to do them, which I command thee this day, to love the Lord thy God, and to walk ever in his ways, then shalt thou add 3 cities more for thee, besides these 3.
Yeah. You see that?
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you should think about it. This stuff, the real brotherhood, actually enriches the people. And like I was saying, it gives us respect. Because when we start to prosper off this, you know what I'm saying, other nations is going to want to read this Bible. They're going to want to read this Bible. And they want to, what they're going to want to learn? How to be our slaves. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what they're going to want to learn. Let's skip down to verse 11.
Verse 11. But if any man hate his neighbor, and lie in wait for him, and rise up against him, and smite him and smite him mortally, that he die, and fleeth into one of these cities. 12. Then the elders of his city shall send and fetch him thence.
Yes, because this man is what? He's a murderer. You know, if he can get away with it, he'll probably off 7 or 8 more dudes.
That's right.
Right.
You know, he got away with that, right? And then that's one of the problems, you know, that we got and everything. Also, that's why you got, that's why we, murdering the hell out of each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's no, we just figure, well, this is just what niggas be doing, stuff like that, And then at the same time, too, judgment is left in the hands of our enemies.
Right.
And what do you give him? We give him 5 years. We give him a nickel, And then he do get out in 3. You know what I'm saying? He's out there to smoke somebody else. And then we become a nation of murderers. But this right here, you know what I'm saying, to solve that problem.
Right.
But we keep on reading.
And deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, that he may die.
It said the elders will come to the city and be like, hey, look, just grab him up. No, you got to pay for that. You got to atone for that.
Right.
And what would that stop us from doing? Stop us from killing. Right. So we would start to really learn how to treat one another.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what? I done heard like Muslim dudes say stupid stuff like, "I'll kill a nigga quick before I lay a hand on one of my Muslim brothers." When really he's saying it's the Arabs.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We think the Arabs think the same way
Right.
about us. You know damn about us being no damn Muslim. You don't care nothing about that at all. As a matter of fact, the way that they look at it, we make their religion look bad.
Right.
That's you know what I'm saying? The way that they look at it, they,
I was gonna say, if I could, talking about the Muslims, they got and a lot of the Muslims, when they really with not the Nation of Islam, but the other Muslims who really with the Arabs get to pick our women as wives and stuff like that.
Right.
They're like first pick, and they can if you like slight the Israelite, not the Israelites, the Islam wrong, or slight Islam, they'll take your wife.
Look at that.
So you a black man or Arab man, come take your wife, because when they come around, they like gods and stuff to the other Muslims.
Right. That's some rough stuff right there, and that's slavery. Slavery right there.
Right.
So that also points, that they look at us as being, we're not real Muslims. We're the Muslim slaves.
Right.
The way that they look at it.
Right.
Slaves of Islam. And yeah, they did have a tradition of doing, crazy stuff like that too. Muhammad was taking 12, 13-year-old girls and ribbing them up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So but here's the thing. Not saying that no black man should be messing with no Arab woman, but you don't get none of their women.
Right.
But they get yours.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn right.
What type of relationship is that? You know what I'm saying? What type of union is that? Go ahead.
I ain't never seen it.
Me either.
I ain't. That's impossible.
Right. Me either.
Shit, I ain't seen it.
I never saw it either. Even with the Hamite Muslims and everything, like the Ethiopians and all of that, maybe in college they doing that, maybe.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? You don't see like brothers with Ethiopian women and all of that. But you can see them with our women.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can see that.
Damn right.
Go ahead.
Verse 13. Thine eye shall not pity him, but thou shalt put away the guilt of innocent blood from Israel, that it may go well with thee.
Right. Because without this, you'll have a nation of murderers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, but if you know that your blood will be atoned, you got to be the atonement for the blood of somebody else. Maybe be a little less quick to kill.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And that would help Brotherhood out tons.
That's right.
Verse 14. Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set in thine inheritance.
Right. So think about it. You got two people. The dude got this land. The other guy got that land. You know, say one of the guys passed away, and he has his son. You know, just ruling over the land. But then you want to take 10 acres of what he got.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what Esau do. That's how he is. He's that kind of person right there. You know, that's the reason why he ain't even gonna have a land.
Right.
Because he's taking everybody else's, right?
Right.
He's not even gonna have a land himself. You know. That right there, let that man, you know, have his that's his border. That's his stuff, you know. Be content with what you got, you know.
Which thou shalt inherit in the land that the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it. Verse 15. One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity or for any sin. In any sin that he sinneth, at the mouth of two witnesses or at the mouth of three witnesses shall the matter be established.
Right. And you know, here's the thing. Those witnesses, they gotta be, you know, righteous witnesses, because Jezebel also had two witnesses against the one brother. I forgot his name. Anybody know it? What his name was? That for his vineyard, she went and got two evil dudes to assist her, and they put that man to death. They killed that man. You know what I'm saying? Just because Ahab wanted his vineyard.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, it was messed up too, because you know he was laying. He said he was laying on the bed or something. And she's like, you know, why is the king so down today and all of that? And he said, well, for the vineyard of such and such a, you know. And she's like, okay, you know, I'll handle that. And she went and got some, you know, some evil dudes and everything who she knows evil and all of that. And she used them to plot against that dude.
Right.
And they had that man put to death.
Right.
For his own vineyard.
Right.
And now the king took his vineyard, killed him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And his children didn't have no inheritance as far as that vineyard wise.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
16. If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong, verse 17, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before the Lord, before the priests and the judges, which shall be in those days.
Right. See, this type of thing is gonna really help Brotherhood a whole lot. The judges, you know, people to judge matters.
That's right.
Right.
See who's right and who's wrong. You know, we've been so long without that because what have we been doing? We've been running to the devil.
Right.
And his judgments, you know what I'm saying, is just all twisted up. You know. I mean, that's just, you know, we've been, and here's the thing about go ahead.
I was gonna say, if I could, like, shoot, there'd be so many black people that probably never even sued nobody. But if we could easily, you know, sue people, shoot, we probably didn't sue. We probably have so many suits out there.
Right.
We could have had so many possibilities to sue different jobs or stores and every damn thing that be doing us wrong. But we don't even really have that the clear option to go do that like the devils do.
Right. Exactly. You know, because I mean, hell, you try to sue people on a job, You know, we kind of know right now that, you know, like discrimination suits and stuff like that, very few people even get those. But when it comes to that other, you know, that other black man or whatever, we'll just drag him to small claims right quick. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If we can do that, you know, try and, you know, somehow injure and hurt him, you know, for a little piece of change or whatever.
Right.
And that's far from brotherhood right there. That's how badly we've been destroyed.
Right.
Verse 18. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition. Salakia. Diligent inquisition. And behold, if the witness be a false witness, and have testified falsely against his brother, verse 19, then shall ye do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother.
See, that's, you know what I'm saying, that's right there. Think about it. If a person thinks, yeah, I want this dude, you know, I want him locked up, and he goes through with a false witness, but when the judges come through and they, you know, try everything, right, and they judge that matter, if he wanted that brother locked up, then his punishment is he's got to be locked up.
That's right.
And already knowing this will cause us to not want to do that to one another. You know what I'm saying? Right. Even if it's for fear, just for fear of what will happen. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, a lot of brothers just, you know, like, man, I just ain't gonna do that to my brother, you know. But then you have the other kind, you know, and we like, well, he's doing it just because, you know, he's like, man, because, you know, this is gonna happen if I do that.
Right.
And then the judges find me out. You know, you have that kind of person.
Right.
So either way, it stops people from doing what they would want to do to one another. We got the most righteous and just laws on the face of the planet. And everybody else, you know, build their own societies off bastardizing what we got.
Right. Right.
Really.
So shalt thou put the evil away from among you.
That's what it's for. Put the evil away.
Verse 20. And those which remain shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you.
Right, because they hear, you know, they hear that, they like, oh damn, you know, that's what happened to him, and that's what's gonna happen, what'll happen, such and such. So now, what does that do? That causes even the evil people to shriek back.
Right.
Then you can run a good kingdom, you know, with that. What was that scripture? I'm kind of paraphrasing, but when it talk about when the king is righteous, the wicked like shriek back or something like that.
God, I don't know which one
You know what I'm talking
about. Dang, trying to phrase it a little. He said the wicked shrink, or like the wicked flee from the king's eyes, or something like that.
Right. Yeah. His eyes scattereth all evil. I think it's something like that too.
Let me see if I can.
Verse 21.
Okay.
And thine eye, Salakia, and thine not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot.
Right. At this time, we ain't taking nobody's lives, but you know the Most High will certainly get a person together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, he'll certainly, you know, some way to get at you. Did you ever find that?
I found it.
Okay.
It's Proverbs chapter 20, verse 8. You want everybody to get it, or you want just me to read it?
You can read it if you want.
Okay. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 8. A king that sitteth in the throne of judgment scattereth away all evil with his eyes.
Right. Because what did the king do? The king looked, and everybody that's, you know, you ever watch like the show like The Tudors?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, the king is, you know, has an angry countenance that makes the people that, you know what I'm saying, you know, that's doing evil, they're like, oh, damn, you know. Because, you know, he had a lot of, you know, people that want to conspire and all of that stuff, you know.
Right.
So it makes the people that are planning evil shriek back and postpone their plans.
Right.
You know, and what does that do? That certainly helps the brotherhood. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because they can conspiring, or whatever, and they plotting or whatever it is they want to do. If they want to go join the heathens or whatever, what is the heathens gonna do? They're gonna go and take everything over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then we'll be in a situation again where we're just hating one another again. You know, I mean, even when we're gonna have certain pockets of people that want to hate, you know, each other. That's got to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna happen, and those people will be purged out and all of that, and everything will go back to being good again. Good.
And if I could, this wisdom here is way better than the Asians in China. Their wisdom,
Right.
because one of their things is I used to watch a lot of their like old war movies and stuff like that, like back in ancient China with swords.
Right.
And basically, what they would do is, let's say if you got like one dude who's the king, and he's got like 4 generals or whatever,
Right.
or one of the generals is like super popular. He can like get the men together, and they all love him and trust him, and he can just get more soldiers, and he's the man. The king will have him killed. Will like invite him over for like a dinner, and then have him killed to make sure nobody gets more powerful than him.
Wow.
So he would kill, and they would all do it. So like every time one of the guys would, like they would always have these dinners where the king would have these dinners where he would invite all his top men from around the kingdom, and then they would do like a sword dance where everybody don't got their weapons, and they sitting at the dinner on, and they'll have somebody do a sword dance, and he would like do the sword around, but then one of the ones he's appointed to kill, he would kill at the dinner.
Wow, ain't that something?
Because that's one of the guys, the king, is like, he's getting too powerful and everything like that. They even do it to their trusted guys who's like they number 1 riders. They'll have him killed.
Right.
Right. And that's far from brotherhood.
Right.
So look at look at that mongoloid version of brotherhood right there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the only reason why they're up is because we're down.
Right.
I mean, how can the people with practices like that be up? You know what I'm saying? Otherwise,
right?
Unless the Lord's people is in sin, because who could trust who with a situation like that?
Right.
Nobody could trust each other.
Right.
They'll all be like, well, damn, I don't know about going to that dinner. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He might have me killed at that dinner.
Right.
So now he's thinking about, he got his own band of soldiers.
Right.
He ready to tally up, you know what I'm saying?
And if I could, that was the point too, because if the person did, like they had a dinner, one of them did show up, that was an excuse for the king to say, well, he's not being a loyal servant for his area. We can go kill him. We can go send the soldiers against him because he's not showing his loyalty or whatever by showing up at the dinner. And then that's another way you can just kill him anyway.
Right, exactly. He pushed that propaganda all throughout the kingdom and everything, and now everybody's against that guy.
He would just use like as a reason now.
Right.
Like, oh, well, now he's got a good reason to kill him.
Right.
He didn't show up. Why didn't he show up? He must be conspiring.
Right. Right. And if he do show up, then he gets murdered at the feast. You know?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is a bad situation right there.
Right.
But here's the thing, though. Everybody else inside the feast should be kind of considering themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, if it happened to him, it's gonna happen to me.
Right.
It'll be some stuff like that. So that lets you know the only reason why they're up is because we're down. Because with practices like that, you can't really survive like that. Your group can't really survive like that.
Right.
Just like that group, the best friends in Detroit, the dope dealing gang. You know what I'm talking about? What did they start doing when there wasn't nobody else to kill? They started killing each other, and they just totally destroyed it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it happened with a whole lot of gangs. They just turned on one another and just start destroying each other.
And if I could, that's a strong demon that even us in the truth got to look out for, because it happened to us before, where brothers in the truth turned on each other.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like in the 2000s.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we gotta watch out for that demon, even in the truth.
Right. Because that demon is strong. Because hell, we so used to turning on each other, and the whole world is against us.
Right.
You know, that's a whole lot of pressure right there. The whole world, every race of people on the, you know, think about this for a second. Our mind couldn't even really wrap around this a whole lot when we was in the world. How every race of people hate us.
Right.
That's some rough stuff. You know what I'm saying? Good night. Because, I mean, hell, when we was in the world, we thought, okay, well, you know, maybe Africans, like, you know, like we had some type of allies out there or something like that. We ain't got none of that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got none. Every race on the planet hates our guts.
That's right.
And then Psalms 83. Hell, let's go to that right quick.
There's also a question online.
Okay.
You want it?
Okay.
Khan, on YouTube, Black Seminole Boy asked, is Luke 18, verse 1 through 8, talking about the parable of Israel and Yahweh?
Well, let's go to it.
Luke 18 and 1.
All lots you have it.
Khan, I have it.
Luke 18, verse 1. And he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and not to faint. Verse 2, saying, there was in a city a judge which feared not God.
Okay, and he asked, you can run the question
He
back
said,
in.
is this a parable about Israel and the Most High? Is this a parable about Israel and the Most High?
Yes, it is. It is. But as a matter of fact, let's go to I want to go to the scripture that states it as being that. The one where they talk the parable with the judge, the unjust judge.
This is the parable of the unjust judge.
Oh, no.
This is the parable.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to get the scripture though.
We'll read it again.
Right. Yeah. Just go ahead and read it again.
Oh no, so like verse 6.
Verse 7, yeah, verse 6 and 7.
Go ahead. Luke chapter 18, verse 6. And the Lord said, hear what the unjust judge said.
Now, the Lord uses an unjust judge as an example. Now, the Lord is just.
Right.
But even this unjust judge, go ahead.
Verse 7. And shall not God avenge his own elect?
It said, shall not the Most High avenge his own elect? So go ahead.
Which cried day and night.
Which cried day and night. Now, if this unjust judge, the thing with the unjust judge was the woman kept wearing him out. Can you avenge me of my enemy? He's unjust. He don't fear God or man, right? So he's like, man, you know, I got to do something, you know, for this woman right here because she's wearing me out with this thing. You know, she's wearing me out. I got to do something about it. And he's unjust, right? So imagine how much more so the Most High will do for Israel, right? He's just. So imagine how much more so he will do for us that cry out to him daily for the oppression of the white man and every other nation that they in confederate with.
Right.
You know, that was a dead ringer right there. Yes, it is talking about the Most High Israel. Christ just used the unjust judge as an example. Okay, any more?
Though he bear long with them. Verse 8.
It said, now notice, it said, though he bear along with them. What does that mean? You know, a lot of praying to do. You know what I'm saying? A lot of, you know, crying out, you know, a lot of, you know, working and everything, and a lot of, you know, a lot of teaching, a lot of, you know, trying to separate our people. A lot of taking the persecution that come from our people and from the other races too. You know, a lot of that.
Right.
And the Most High is gonna be like, hey, they doing their thing, and they've been doing it. And then He's gonna make a move. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, He done made a move with the Corona already. But I mean, hell, things is gonna get, more fierce from here. And everybody that want to still cling on to this place and stuff like that, they're gonna be torn from this damn place or torn the hell up. One of the two. I mean,
All right.
Okay. Yeah, someone wanted to go into in Ephesians 5 and 4.
The brother Black Seminole boy said, "Come."
God. Any more questions on it?
No more questions. And time check 8:23.
Okay.
21 minutes.
Okay.
So Ephesians. You said Salakia. Ephesians 1 and 4?
5 and 4.
5 and 4. Okay, Ephesians 5 and 4. For this ye know that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man, who is an idler.
Wait a minute, hold on. That wasn't the one that I wanted to go to. Yeah, that wasn't the wrong scripture on that. Hold on, let me see something real quick. It's a scripture where it talks about jesting. I'm ready to pull it up. Right.
Sorry, I got it.
Okay, you got that?
Ephesians 5 and 4.
Right. Does it go into that part with the jesting?
Come.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 4. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking,
Right.
nor jesting,
Right.
which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks.
Yeah, because good night. Who could get more brutal than black people?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And that thing messes up brotherhood. It really does. It happens in a way. I mean, think about it. Remember we was in the world and everything, how brothers was doing that. I mean, hell, where I'm from in Louisville, they roast the hell out of each other. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, good night. Jokes and all of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? You don't have no name brand shoes on. You didn't have none of that on. You got roasted, dude. You got, and what does that do? That plants seeds of hatred. You know what I'm saying? And here's the funny thing about it, though. Nobody joked on the heathens in the school for wearing no name brand shoes.
Right.
Nobody did that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody joked on the white dudes for not having, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, I mean, damn. And black people make less money than they do. You know, although a lot of the devils and everything, they had like skateboarding shoes on. They people made way more money than, you know what I'm saying, than our families that lived in the projects, right? That thing, and then what does it do? It eventually, you know, starts to destroy the self-esteem of people and all of that. You know what I'm saying? You know, all of the different diverse type of jokes. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people do it, you know, to hurt the person because it makes themselves feel good. You know what I'm saying? It makes them feel like there's something, there's somebody themselves.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why they do it. They have to destroy your, you know, it's like they're feeding on you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we, you know, that thing really messes up brotherhood also, because all of that type of stuff does have a long-term effect to it. Now think about it. Now imagine you got a guy out there, right? And he couldn't afford the name brand shoes,
Right.
right? And he's, you know, in the school and he's being joked on all the time. That nigga gonna go and hit the block and hustle hard as hell in a lot of instances.
Right.
And then when he finally gets something, right? When he finally, now he, you know, now next thing you know, he gets robbed and shot up, or he's going to jail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because his whole life, you know, all of that, the pain that he went through in school, people joking on him because there's no name brand shoes or whatever the case is, it done created a monster. Now that dude ready to rob. You know what I'm saying? Because he's thinking about all them jokes back in the day and all of that stuff. You know,
Right.
he's ready to go out and he's like, man, you know what? I'm never gonna be joked on like that again. You know what I'm saying? And that dude winds up in prison.
Right.
Can't build a nation in prison. Can't build a, you can't build a real brotherhood like that either. I mean, you know, if you got that type of mindset, right?
Right. Right.
Brotherhood would have been like, if you want the brother to have, you know, the best shoes or whatever, everybody pitch in $5. Get $5 from your mama. You know what I'm saying? Your daddy or whatever.
Right.
Right.
And get that man some name brand shoes. And we just keep it moving.
Right.
But good night. We be vicious. We love to tear each other up. You know what I'm saying? We love to, you know what I'm saying? We love to tear each other to bits.
That's right.
You know? Go ahead. Oh, you want to say something?
Loud.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I remember when I was in school, the joke sessions was, you get on the bus, it was from all the way to home.
Right. Right.
Right.
Of niggas just roasting the hell out of each other. You know what I'm saying? It was just a damn feeding frenzy, like a damn Shark Tank. You know what I'm saying? You can't build brotherhood that way.
Right.
You know? That's why strong leaders are needed to stop people from doing things like that. A lot of times you got to treat your peoples like children. You know what I'm saying? Stop it. Cut it out. A lot of times you got to be like that. I mean, this is what it is. You know, it's like you do with a 5-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Quit saying that. Don't say that. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? Because that type of thing will build brotherhood once people get that whole jesting shit out the way and stuff like that. That will be a thing to start to help things. That's why the Apostle Paul said that. Can you read that scripture again? We the same niggas as we was back then. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We the same dudes.
Right.
Yeah, you don't think Apostle Paul was around niggas? Yeah, nigga, you don't think he wasn't around that? Yeah, he was around that. Go ahead.
A lot of times people say, well, that was back then.
Hell, it's now.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, ain't no damn different. Why you think he said that?
Right.
Ain't no damn different. We the same niggas from, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
All the way back then. We're the same. It's no damn, you know what I'm saying? We just, in a different place. Think about it. Apostle Paul was from Tarsus. Tarsus was actually, when you go to the historical maps of southern Spain, you know what I'm saying? Niggas was doing it over there. You know what I'm saying? It was the same damn thing over there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was, all the way back then. Go ahead.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 4. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient.
Right. I mean, it's not convenient because it's not helping anything. It's not helping nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Go ahead.
But rather giving of thanks.
Giving of thanks. Now just imagine how much stronger we would be as a people with that type of mindset, what he was just bringing out right there.
That's right.
But the giving of thanks, and we all, grateful to the Most High, grateful to each other and stuff like that.
Right.
Nobody would be able to mess with us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's right.
Because if our mind is set that way, you know what I'm saying? And no one, and everybody else will be their own lookers. They'll be like, damn, they really, they really love each other. These people really, just like when we was in Chicago, Cap, remember we was in Chicago, and I was rolling with the Boston camp.
Right.
And we showed up at the, what is it, that 137 building?
The club?
No, it was the big restaurant thing, like a mall type deal. Where we, right in front of where we used to have the camp at.
Oh, okay, I don't know the camp spot.
Right, they at the camp spot, that building, because they got restaurants and all of that in there.
Right, yeah, kind.
When we showed up, it was some other brothers that showed up too, and they seen how we all greeted each other, and people was like, "Damn," they were like amazed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was like that. That brought people towards us. It was like, man, I see, how y'all, y'all really love each other. They were so shocked. You know what I'm saying? It was like, and then you know what that make people want to do? That make people want to be a part of that too.
That's right. All right.
They're like, damn, that's because for one thing, people don't see it like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Chicago, especially downtown Chicago, nobody want to, Negroes don't even want to mess with each other down there.
Right.
They don't want to come up to each other, you know what I'm saying, and none of that. They too busy trying to be devils. You know what I'm saying? Or be ashamed of other Negroes and everything. And they seen us, like that, such coming with that, that powerful, you know what I'm saying,
right.
thing like that, and a genuine, you know what I'm saying, love for one another. And that started to draw people to want to stay around for the camp. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, maybe I need to listen to what these dudes are saying because, something simple as that. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Because it makes people want to be a part of that. I mean, damn, we see how white people, they care about each other, and we want to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't even cared about each other really like that for real. Right. They only seem like they care about each other because we're their slaves. If we separate from them, they'll destroy one another. You know what I'm saying? They want that their whole mask will come off, and they'll be the rude savages they are. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Any more in the scripture?
Hey, you want me to go to 5?
And we'll see what 5 got to say. If it say any more.
10 minutes.
Okay.
Verse 5. For this ye know, that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man.
Covetous.
Covetous
Man. That's another problem that we got that messes up brotherhood. There's a lot of covetous people because when you got to destroy people like that, they get jealous over a crumb.
Right.
You got 2 crumbs, he got 3. You know what I'm saying? You looking at the crumbs he got.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Covetousness is a beast with us, you know what I'm saying? Because we so crushed and oppressed. And we actually teach oppression, and we say things that no other race say. We say things like, nigga, if you ain't got no money, nigga, you can't say nothing. Well, who says that? You know what I'm saying? Who the hell says things like that? You don't even have opinion because you ain't got no money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't even got an opinion. You know what I'm saying?
They be saying crazy stuff, man. I don't hang with that broke nigga. You a broke nigga, something like that.
Right, yeah.
Nigga down.
Nigga, yeah.
Shut up, man.
We all broke nigga. Oh, nigga, you can't say nothing. You a broke nigga, such and such.
Right,
When that guy
right.
that's saying all of that, his money ain't even got no goddamn power.
Right.
He only have the power to just buy him stuff. That's it. He ain't making no global moves. He ain't making no world-changing moves. Nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? What?
Like, that be the same brother, to go rob him.
Yeah.
And you know what? That real hard in his heart. Straight up, like, cause I didn't heard we was all in the world. You know how you got my friends talk down, you just show up in front of girls and ladies and just make yourself look good. Stuff like that, you know what I'm saying?
And that is all a covetous spirit inside that.
Right.
Because them niggas will be knocking each other off.
Right.
You know, like in Louisville one time, it was a dude, ain't gonna say the dude's name or nothing, but he was hanging out with, because they did like tooted the little coat together. He's hanging out with this other dude, and going over their house or whatever. Well, one day, actually he was a hitman, but he was a real covetous, of course, a covetous hitman. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He ended up blowing the dude and his wife away. You know what I'm saying? Right inside their apartment in the projects of Makabach used to live in.
Right.
Ended up just blowing them the hell away. You know what I'm saying? That covetous, nothing like that. And then this dude would hit somebody for 10 stacks or 7 if times was hard. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That is a whole covetous spirit right there. And when somebody's covetous like that, they just don't give a damn about nothing. They just like, money, just got to get that bread, regardless of how they got to get it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What they telling you, if you ain't robbing and you ain't doing this and that, you ain't got, stacks. Remember that guy that killed his mother? Oh, y'all remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And flashed the money on Facebook?
Sir.
You remember that?
I ain't heard about that one.
Look at that. You see what the covetousness brings up? How you gonna have brotherhood with that? That thing has to be burned the hell out. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he killed his own mother. And the thing about it, his mother, he was one of them little spoiled dudes. You know what I'm saying? His mother worked, you know what I'm saying, these, slaveries and all of that, and they, he had a decent setup. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, she bought him whatever the hell he wanted. But then it's always funny because he was so covetous, he decided to cash out one day, right? And have his mom hit. That's some rough stuff right there. He had somebody take his mom out, and then the funny thing about it, after it happened, he on Facebook, you know what I'm saying, flashing the money from the insurance policy or whatever the hell it was. Good night.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what he did. This happened about about like 2 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, that was a couple years ago.
Right. Yeah, but dude, and here's the thing about it. Oh man, what make it even worse though? They was having the dude. He was like supposed to be like a spokesperson for another murder that happened in the same neighborhood. Remember that? He's on the camera and everything in the news. Like, yeah, my mom, yeah, I feel this murder because this happened to my mom, such and such, and he was the one that had it done. Man, and so what it say in the scriptures? What they talk about the love of many shall wax cold.
Right.
Look how cold that was. That's some rough right there. And covetous and greed, that certainly affects brotherhood. Okay, that's why the Apostle Paul also said to be content with, what I'm saying, with things he have, godliness with contentment is great gain.
Right.
The scripture right there.
Can you put that down? Like, what do you mean?
Godliness with contention is great. You serve the Most High. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And even if you have a little or a lot or whatever, you're still content with what you have. You know what I'm saying? Right. Content means you're not trying to rob nobody.
Right.
You're not down on nobody that has more than you. You're not doing that either. You're grateful, and even if you have a little or a lot, you're grateful in that.
I got the definition if you want it.
Okay.
Content, the adjective, in a state of peaceful happiness, satisfied, pleased, fulfilled,
Right.
or the verb to satisfy someone, like you're satisfied. Or
Right.
state, the noun is state of satisfaction.
God, that can really have little or a lot. Because hell, when we was together as a kingdom, you had men that had a whole lot and men that had a little.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you had a lot of the men that had little, where, like, say for instance, one man had one vineyard, well, you have a guy out there, he has 50 vineyards. The guy with the one vineyard, he was just so happy just to have that one vineyard. You know what I'm saying? He eat up the grapes and all of that, make some little wine and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And his purpose, you know what I'm saying, is on his mind. You know what I'm saying? He has what he needs, right? That's godliness with contentment, being content, being satisfied. And if the Most High increases you and gives you 3, 4 more vineyards, you know what I'm saying? Nigga be thinking, well, you know what? Damn, well, dude, he ain't got no vineyard. I got 3, 4. Maybe I can give him one. Give him one of my vineyards.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the mindset of a content man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, the brother, he fell on some hard times or whatever, such and such, because you had a lot of people, that did. You know what I'm saying? A lot of brothers had to have their, daughters as maids, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And they fell, I don't know whether they had a gambling problem, whatever the damn case was,
Right.
They just fell on something hard like that. You know what I'm saying? And it was the law. That's like there was the law also too for a person to if he's on your land, he can eat of the vineyard.
Right.
About 1 minute left.
Okay.
45.
This concludes the Brotherhood class. I'm about to pass the class over to
Sardaquash. Officer Sardaquash.
Officer Sardaquash. Officer Sardaquash. Coming all the way from Las Vegas to this bad boy. Yeah.
Right.
Great. That's good.
Am I closing the class off?
Showed up the blessings at the Indianapolis school.
It's like I'm closing the class out.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
Right.
You want me to do it, sir?
Did you want to do it?
Yeah. I can
Oh,
do it.
okay.
All right. It was over with. We doing it.
Yeah, we'll do the security announcements.
All right, come on.
I just wanted to make people know that the brother's here. You know what I'm saying? That he's in the game.
The I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashera. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. ISUPK.com if you pay it online. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. Got the Passovers coming up. All the other high holy days are going to be on the same days. But we have the Passover. It's to be determined once New York kind of opens back up and the coronavirus slows back down. That date will be brought out to all the camp leaders. So stay close with your camp leaders, and we're gonna have that, and then we're gonna have a glorious Passover. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black: boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. With that said, Imajim, which means stand, Wapan Yahakwadam, which means rise and face the east. We're gonna do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abano, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Taba'ah, Ratazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baharatiza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, the Kam, Yawam, Masalaknao, Kasalaknao, Kawafino, Wala'ah, Tabayayno, Banasai one, above, Awashayno, Mayan, Right, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wa'atapara, Laiwalamyo, Aman. In the English, what we just said. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. Forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. The Hakak, prayer for the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Babakwashah, Yatham Haka, Larapa'ah, Karmakala, Wakam Madawa, Haka, Latahor, Hamatazarayim, Hakat, Lahakwil, Hamathium, Hakat, Arakawaf, Hatama Allah, Lagar Shun, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, the water Amun. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you. So be it. Pray for the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shai? Why Mayaka Allah? Why Allah? Bataz Abiyah. Allah Wap Yahanna. Ha Allah Wapyum. Ha Saranyam. Ha Kotazayanyam. Ha Kayayayum. Why Hakwathium. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, the water, Aman. What we said in English. Bless you, Yahweh. And Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahanna, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you. So be it. The anointing prayer in the Hebrew. Yabaraka Yahweh. Why Shamaraka? Yahweh. Pan Yahweh. Hayaka. Wayakanka. Yasha'ah. Yahweh. Pan Yahweh. Ayaka. Wayashamlaka. Shalom. Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Barak. Rapah. Hagan.
All the sword of Israel.
Done.
Go to rank order. You announce who any family or loved ones you want to pray for in the world.
The I.S.U.P.K.
The I.S.U.P.K.
ISUPK. All of Israel.
All of Israel.
The Thurman family.
Thurman family.
The Sutton family.
The Sutton
The
family.
Hill family.
The Hill family.
All the children of Israel.
All the children of Israel.
Done.
All the children of Israel.
All the children of Israel.
Done.
Sister, you got anybody you want to pray for?
Wilson family.
Wilson family.
Done.
By Hashem Yahushua.
By Hashem Yahushua.
The water Aman.
The word Aman.
What we said in English was Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bless thee and keep thee.
Bless thee and keep thee.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Make his face shine upon thee.
Make his face shine upon thee.
And be gracious unto thee.
And be gracious unto thee.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Lift up his countenance upon thee.
Lift up his countenance upon thee.
And give thee peace.
And give thee peace.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Shield.
Shield.
Protect.
Protect.
Names of loved ones we just named.
The name of love was just named.
I.S.U.P.K. curses in the English. Blessed art you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things living.
And all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
That speak against us.
Thy prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers.
The Israelite brothers.
And the school.
And the school.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and
And
destruction.
punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose.
Shake loose.
The treasure.
The treasure.
Of the rich of Israel.
Of the rich of Israel.
That refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to get to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
To enter into thy
To
sanctuary.
enter thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment.
And
Punishment.
And destruction.
And destruction.
To the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nations.
And the nation.
And their drug dealers.
And the drug dealers.
Court system.
Court system.
Prison system.
Prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments are our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
And we let synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads.
Skinheads.
Posse Comitazi.
Let's come
The gay movement.
Gay movement.
Lesbian movement.
Lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
NASA space program.
That's the space program.
Army.
Army.
Navy.
Navy.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Marines.
Marines.
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airwaves.
And the airwaves.
The cable access channel.
Cable access channel.
And the radio channel.
And the radio channel.
Convict the spirit.
Convict the spirit.
Of any of thy people.
Of any of thy people.
That seek to stop us.
That seek to stop us.
And bring swift destruction.
And bring swift destruction.
To all the heathen.
To all the heathen.
That stand in the way.
That stand in the way.
Or try to stop us.
Or try to stop us.
From broadcasting your word.
Broadcasting your word.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
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 Cause them to go.
Cause you to go.
To and fro.
To and fro.
Through the earth.
Through the earth.
And consume them.
Consume them.
Let the plagues.
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 Shake the house of the thief.
Shake the house of the thief.
And the murderer.
And the murderer.
Let Yahweh shine.
Yahweh.
Michael and Gabriel.
Michael and Gabriel.
Come down with the flying saucers.
Come down with the flying saucers.
And punish all the heathens.
And punish all the heathen.
That come up against us.
That come up against us.
As we speak thy word.
As we speak thy word.
Cause to be known.
Cause to be known.
By all.
By all.
That it is the angels that have done it.
It is the angels that have done it.
Cause to be spread.
Cause to be spread.
Through the media.
Through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
Sar, which means turn, face the teacher. We're going to give the teacher a courtesy salute. Men of Israel. What sisters should be seated for this? Men of Israel. Ahmad Shabbat. Ahmad Barak.
Yahweh Yahushua.
Yahweh Shabbat.
Yasmin Ta. Sar will turn face the sister. Sister Rise. Open shot. She got a haircut.
Oh,
she got a haircut.
Like
No sweat. Men of Israel. Imam Shabbat. Ahmad Barak. Yahweh Shabbat. Sis, what you gonna say is, you know, salute?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Shalom, Yahweh. Shalom. Wait, Shalom?
Yahweh,
Yahweh, Shalom. Elatah, Bahai Shalom, Yahweh.
Most High in Christ. Gazmatah, dismiss. Good job, sis. Any more of that strong?